Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now May 18th of 2022, and we're only getting closer to the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series on Disney Plus that is surely going to give fans a lot to look forward to when it comes to what Deborah Chow is currently putting together, not just with the Kenobi TV series, but also other TV shows that she is going to be involved in with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni as well. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that a lot of Star Wars fans out there are really expecting the best to come from Jon and Dave. Now, given that they have a lot of plans in store to revive Star Wars Legends, to bring back many of the highlights of those stories from the 1990s and the early 2000s is really something to be very well aware of, and something that's really going to complete their journey to really turning Star Wars around for the better. Now, when you look at it in that sense, we already know that everything related to what Jon and Dave are currently putting together for the new Star Wars universe is being carefully planned day by day, and they're really trying to make it as best as possible to really create this consistency without any batches of space in between that doesn't make sense. So they want to make sure that everything is going to work universally speaking. TV shows, movies, books, novels, comics, and video games to work all together as this one massive new Star Wars universe. A great example is how, Cal Kestis from the, Fallen Order video games is really going to be deeply rooted into Jon and Dave's new Star Wars lore. Now, on top of all of that, alright, what's even all the more exciting has a lot to do with what Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are currently doing with the character of Rey, also known as Rey Skywalker at the very end of Episode 9. Now, with that being said, with the new Star Wars shows in development, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are beginning to work on new canon material for the Star Wars universe moving forward in order to satisfy the fans around the globe. Now, it's noted, however, that recently both Favreau and Filoni have been busy with a brand new piece of Star Wars canon that will be introduced to fans in 2023. Now, it's noted that Favreau is currently on a mission to ending the concept of Rey Skywalker with the addition of making Rey's character completely different in the new canon approach that is going to reshape how fans view the sequel trilogy. Now, further, it's described that Favreau made the ultimate decision recently to end the Rey Skywalker canon piece, and is now making her into a Kenobi. The big plan by Favreau and Filoni is to create a big connection to both Kenobi and Palpatine. Jon Favreau never agreed with Rey calling herself Skywalker in the first place. In a very recent interview, Jon Favreau touched on this, stating, "I always thought that felt out of place, I mean, it just came off as trying to please other fans that wanted her to become a Skywalker by blood, and they just did this in a very illegitimate way that didn't make much sense to me as a creator and a fan." Additionally, Favreau is set to include Rey as a cameo in an upcoming post-Episode 9 TV series that will focus on the new Jedi Order and the character Rey, of course, as a character that will have a couple of cameos that will be handled by Favreau and Filoni. Now, Jon and Dave are set to explain how exactly Rey is going to become a Kenobi in the new Star Wars canon. Part of this will be explained in TV shows that will be based between Episodes 3 and 4, to showcase how Kenobi's life leads to the addition of Rey as his granddaughter. So let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, we actually touched on the specifics of Jon and Dave's plan about exactly how they're going to go about doing this. We'll talk about that a little bit more additionally later as well. But here you can see that what Jon and Dave are ultimately trying to do is that they are trying to really establish the fact that Rey is not going to be known simply as Rey Skywalker in the new canon, or in the books, or in all future merchandise. They are setting it in stone that she is going to be Rey Kenobi in a sense, with Palpatine's bloodline as well. And that, to me, I think it feels very unique, and I can totally understand how this is probably not going to be enough to convince some fans out there that Rey, of course, as a character, is going to be taken in a different path by Favreau and Filoni. The main reason as to why they are doing this, keep in mind, is that there are a handful of post-Episode 9 TV shows in live-action form that are currently in the works. And they really want to make sure that with the addition of Rey coming into those storylines, is that they are going to make this character more acceptable and a lot more engaging. And they want to make sure that the character feels more legitimate, in a sense. So this character obviously had a lot of back and forths behind the scenes of the sequel trilogy. You know, even Daisy Ridley said that the character went back and forth between becoming a Skywalker, a Kenobi, a nobody, and other bloodlines out there as well. You know, the whole Palpatine thing was a last-minute scenario that was pretty much pushed by Kathleen Kennedy. Now, moving from this, alright, now Favreau wanted to end the whole Rey Skywalker concept for a very long time in order to focus more on characters having a legitimate bloodline. Favreau at one point even made a remark about her being a Palpatine, stating, "Well, to me, that choice, it worked to a degree, but it just felt so rushed and so forced for fans, as if this was the only way to explain why Rey is so powerful, you know? I just think there needs to be more important things with all of this for sure." Currently, Favreau and Filoni are the ones calling the shots on how Rey will actually be portrayed in the new material, both in live action and animated, as well as written material such as books. They want to make sure that her Kenobi bloodline will be addressed sooner rather than later, and eventually executed in live-action form for fans to enjoy. Now, their mission is to essentially rebuild the character of Rey in order to make the character more acceptable, in order to focus on post-Episode 9 stories that fans will love and enjoy. Favreau, of course, also wanted to make it clear to fans that this big change will be deeply rooted to other upcoming shows that will slowly hint all of this in the long run. So, one thing that I think a lot of fans need to know about this beforehand is that there is a lot of things being done for, of course, the new Star Wars lore that's going to change a lot of aspects of the character of Rey. Now, the thing about Rey, of course, you know, we already know that Daisy Ridley pointed this out, is that there was a lot of scenes, alright, there were a lot of scenes that were filmed for Episode 9 that involved different aspects of her bloodline. But on top of all of this, alright, what Jon and Dave are trying to do, we already know that there is a post-Episode 9 story in the works that is going to focus on the new Jedi Order. We'll tap into that a little bit later. We talked about this lightly about 3 months ago. This series in particular is going to showcase new Jedi, and of course the legacy of what Rey left behind, as well as Luke Skywalker. The thing about this is that Jon and Dave are trying to really satisfy a lot of fans, equally speaking, you know, fans of the prequels, the originals, and the sequels with different Star Wars TV shows. And in this post-Episode 9 TV show that is currently untitled and unannounced, that will be revealed at next year's Star Wars Celebration, it is going to be catered to really kind of satisfying some of the sequel trilogy doubters as well, such as myself. You know, I feel that the sequel trilogy needed massive improvement, and in this post-Episode 9 era, it really comes off like that Favreau and Filoni are trying to salvage what is left of the sequel trilogy, and whether or not, you know, this is really, you know, a waste of time or not, I'm not quite sure about that just yet. It all depends on how the show's going to be executed. But overall, guys, you know, let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.